Hey, besties! As the summer is heating up across the U.S., and especially here in the Midwest, so is Barking Mad's social media presence. If you haven't seen the latest and the greatest, well, congratulations, you're cordially invited to Barking Mad's Facebook.
Yeah, we see you. Boomers, millennials, we're not just for Gen Z, baby. We got you. We're on Facebook now. We, Katie Wolf, she's back. She had a baby.
Woohoo!
She's really, really cute. But she is now full swing, running that thing, and all of our other social media channels. We mentioned last Zoomies that we are also on LinkedIn as well. So lots of places that you can connect with us, and we're really excited to be on Facebook now. So check us out. Welcome to Barking Mad, a podcast powered by BSM Partners.
We're your hosts, Dr. Stephanie Clark.
And I'm Jordan Tyler.
Let's talk about some cute stuff before we get into maybe a not so cute stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so quick update on something that we talked about. Was this April at Zoomies? I think that it was.
Yes.
In the Ridglan Farms, a research facility that's based out of Wisconsin, had been besieged by animal welfare protesters. You know, we talked about people storming the facility and like breaking down gates and like storming everything. It was crazy. Basically, the protesters won, right? This research facility is now permanently closing, and all remaining dogs are being transferred to Big Dog Ranch Rescue based in Florida. So no more dogs at that facility, no more beagle research at that facility. One of those cases where the protesters actually made a big difference. So just wanted to close the loop on that.
Yeah, voices heard. So if you're looking for a cute little beagle, you know where to go. On to some other cool stuff. And if you live in a box like I do, a sales box, because I had no idea. Last month, Amazon had their Pet Day sale. Again, no idea this happened until this report came out that $400 million generated in sales. Absolutely ridiculous. I can't even fathom that number.
Right.
But guess what? Amazon said, hey, you don't have to be a Prime member to get these cool deals. We're going to give them to everybody. So, of course, people went bananas. And dog products made up for about 60% of the sales generated. And cat products actually did 28.8% in sales, which is a 10% increase than last year. So I know we've been harping that cat is hot. Cat is hot.
Big time. Big time. Yeah, I didn't know that this was a thing either. I knew that like the Amazon Day or like Cyber Monday or whatever around Thanksgiving is a big deal. I guess it's funny, like maybe we're like too in the weeds. Maybe we need to like zoom out a little bit and like cosplay regular consumers every once in a while so that we can benefit from Pet Day sales. You know what I mean?
I think my ads just know I'm too frugal.
So they're like, you're not going to go.
You're not. You're not. I mean, I'll get pet food ads all day long, but like no Amazon sales, no nothing. You're like, yeah, this girl isn't clicking.
I do think it's cool though that they allowed anybody just can make an Amazon account and benefit from this discount, right? We all know that pet products are getting more expensive. The economy's tough. Feel like we're having to make trade-offs, you know, based on what we feed our pets, what we feed ourselves, and what we do for fun and paying the mortgage and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that they did it that way. And I also thought it was interesting how you mentioned we were talking through like some of the, you know, the top sales, and a lot of it was like flea and tick prevention and stuff that's like timely to like being, you know, the summer season.
Yeah.
But also stuff that's, you know, that stuff's not cheap either. So waiting for the discount is maybe the way to go.
I do wonder, again, not trying to ugly or cute right now, but how or where are those things made? Because a lot of these ectoparasite preventions are prescription-based. So is Amazon now getting into the prescription market? Do you have to go through your vet to get a prescription to then show Amazon? Or are these just coming from some random distributor? So I do wonder about that. It'll be interesting to see if we get any follow-up stories about neuro issues happening, but TBD on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to ugly or cute, so we'll just end it at that.
It's okay. You know, it's all about balance. That nutrition's all about balance. You know, there's ugly in the cute. There's cute in the ugly. You know?
Yeah. You know.
Okay, well, I coerced Dr. Steph today into the next conversation that we're going to have because I was really excited about it. I can't really explain why I was so excited about it other than I just think it's hilarious. But we're going to talk about boy kibble. What is it? Why is it? I don't know, but we're about to find out together.
Why? Just why?
Okay, so boy kibble. According to some, it's like a protein, a grain, and a vegetable, right? It's supposed to be quick and dirty, super easy, all about convenience, all about nutrition, right? We want it to be balanced so that we can like nourish our bodies, but it also needs to be simple, easy, and like kind of mindless, right? Basically the concept of you're a man in the kitchen and you just want to make spontaneous decisions instead of actually put a meal together, which is fine. That's what I do, to be totally fair. We're not far off from girl dinner here.
I was say, or mom meal prep, right? Like,
exactly.
When I were talking about this, I'm like, wait, that's what my Sunday evening is. It's meal prepping. We get a protein, you get a carb, and you get some sort of vegetable, and you freeze it for the week.
Literally. Somebody on Reddit goes, bodybuilders have been doing this for decades, and no one batted an eye. And it's like, yeah, how have you guys been eating before?
Just have a cute phrase to go with it.
Yeah. Now it's trendy. So boy kibble, I was thinking like, okay, chicken, rice, and broccoli, that's like pretty colorful. There's a color somewhere in there.
Pop of color.
Yeah, pop of color. We love a pop of color. But then, okay, so then turn that on its head. Think about like ground beef, like rice, and like potatoes. Like that looks like dog food for sure. It's brown. It's probably a little round. It might smell a little bit extra. I don't know. But essentially, what the
lighter meaty aroma.
Yeah. Like when we put because we have to marinate Lenny's food, the digestive enzymes on top so that he can digest it. We call it kibble soup. So I kind of imagine this as like kibble soup. Yeah. But boy kibble soup. And it's whatever you want to make it. But the point, I guess, of boy kibble is it's not about what it looks like, right? Mm-hmm. It's about the fact that we're nourishing our bodies and we're doing so in a way that works for our lifestyles. We make it taste how we want it to taste. It tastes good. We know it'll be good for our bodies. I just think it's all very ironic. Like we point at kibble, for being brown and round and ultra processed and ugly and unappealing and monotonous and all of this. And it's like, boy kibble?
Good boy.
Question mark? Are you a good boy? Exactly. It's just kind of funny. It's like, so there is room in the market for simplicity and convenience and, just an option that reflects your lifestyles and your values. You don't have to be, feeding fresh to be a good dog owner. You don't have to be feeding freeze-dried to be a good dog owner. You don't need to do anything to be a good dog owner. You have all the tools that you already need. You just need to decide what's going to work best for you and your dog. And so I just thought that was very, very ironic of like, oh, haha, boy kibble, that's so funny. But then it's like, wait a minute, it is kind of like kibble. And it's actually, it encompasses all the beautiful things about kibble, right? It's like probably a lot more consistent than anything you would cook in a kitchen. Yeah, actually, no, you probably would do really well. I'm not very consistent. So like, it's probably formulated dog food, that is, or pet food more consistently. Yeah. And boy kibble. It's probably by and large regulated more tightly.
Yeah. So I tested more.
Probably tested more.
Yeah.
Could be safer. I just think it's interesting.
What I think is interesting before we come, full circle here is we want to feed our pets like children, but we want to feed our boyfriends like dogs. And that's fine. I'm just over here like, okay.
Who's who, Like, we cannot keep up with this.
I mean, I do like my dog sometimes more than I like my husband. Sorry, Jonathan. It's not like he's going to watch this anyway.
She's not sorry.
But I mean, you start looking at it like that, you're like, are we degrading humans and are canines going to be the superior mammals?
Hey, we talk about humanization. This is like one of those rare cases where humanization is actually swinging the other way. And it's like asking some really important questions, I think. It's a very silly topic, but like there's something here. Do you think also it's probably around the same price per pound?
It's probably cheaper.
You think so? Boy, Kibble's cheaper?
Probably. Because kibble is really, like, pet food is really expensive.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Well, and I say that. I heard the price of beef is really expensive.
Well, yeah, and like animal disease like can mess up supply chains, and there's a lot of that going around right now. So it's not all just because dog food's more expensive, it's ingredients.
But I'm sure on a cost per pound, probably.
Similar.
We got to talk about the recalls.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the lawsuits because you know me and Unhinged. Let's get to it. So Costco, with their Kirkland signature Nature's Domain, their grain-free dog food, surprise, not surprise, is on a class action lawsuit. For what, you may ask? Oh, again, DCM. Wake me up when it's over. I would like to say we're on to something new, to something different, but same story. They're claiming that they promoted that it was healthy and safe and complete and balanced, and it's got grain-free. Let me know when it's all done because I like science.
Yeah.
I'm a science girl, and science says, hey, this is not a thing right now. So, and I may eat those words, but the science isn't telling me to eat those words yet.
Yeah, and we would know. We did that science, and it was during COVID, so a very, very trying time. Yeah, we're directly involved right in the middle of that hurricane as it was barreling through, spring of, 2021 or something? 2020?
2020, yeah, because I was pregnant.
Oh, my gosh. Literally, like, it couldn't have gotten any tougher for you. But we did the research. We studied the food. We studied the dogs. We rehomed all the dogs after the study. There's an episode on that. And we found that there's no causal link between grain-free dog food and dilated cardiomyopathy or increased rates of developing the disease. And it's just bizarre that companies are still being sued, that consumers are still misled, and that the industry is still operating under the assumption that grain-free is some, wolf in sheep's clothing, when it never really was. The data to make that assumption in the first place wasn't reliable. So it's like, well, how many times do we have to watch this movie before somebody's going to be like, oh, actually, that's propaganda?
Yeah. There's no plot twist here.
There is no.
The storyline is,
unfortunately. Yeah. And we have done episodes on this before, and we'll link them in the show notes for today if you'd like to check that out. But let us know what you want to hear about DCM, about the scandal, about the issue, front to end, beginning to end. It hasn't ended yet, so
nose to tail.
Who even is a good one? Dang it, I should have thought of that. Yeah, we don't even know. It's obviously not over, so we're gonna keep talking about it. But I think it is important to keep talking about because otherwise people are just gonna keep carrying this empty narrative around.
Yeah, and I think it's really telling because so far in 2026, this is the 8th class action, and this is the second one for DCM, or grain-free, I should say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, more to say about it, probably not. I would not be surprised if you hear us next month talking about it again. But on to recalls. So expansion, there's Go Raw LLC has expanded their recall. So last month, they had a recall due to low thiamine levels, which thiamine is B1. It's a essential vitamin that we need, our pets need. And we actually formulate it in pet food, and it needs to be at a specific amount. And if not, it can lead to things such as like fatigue and low appetite, even vomiting, and in severe cases, when they're very deficient, even neurological issues. So, I mean, yeah, it's just a little B vitamin here and there, but it actually does a lot to the body. So they've expanded this recall to one lot of Steve's Real Food chicken recipe freeze-dried. The original recall included 3 Quest cat food formulas, and now to chicken. So we'll link this in our show notes below so you know. They also have expanded to, I believe, 20 states now that it's in.
Oh, boy.
I think so. I need to check that.
Yeah. Just a good idea to stay current. A lot of times recalls will be expanded because the company or the FDA will continue to test product and find additional products that maybe need to be included in the recall. So it's best if you see something that might apply to you, keep an eye on it for like a couple weeks because it very well might be expanded. There was another expansion, a recall expansion from something that we talked about in the April episode. It was a milk product for pet. I think a milk replacer. Yeah, like puppies and kittens. And it's by Breeder's Choice / Shelter's Choice. The manufacturer's Revival Animal Health. But this recall started in April 17th was when it was first issued. And it's still going on right now. They recently added just several days ago goat milk products. And this whole recall is wrapped up in either too low or too high levels of vitamin D, which, as Esther would say, womp, womp. Yeah, not great. We recently wrote an article about vitamin D recalls, why they happen, why they're so serious. And we'll stick that in the show notes for you guys for sure. But essentially, it comes down to manufacturers of pet food really collaborating with their ingredient suppliers and making sure that they know what's in the product, that they know what they expect in the product is actually in there at the levels that they expect it to be in. And then it's also on the manufacturer to test for those micronutrients at the end, right? Once the product is all packaged up and shiny glossy, rip that bag open, you got to test it. And it can be expensive to test for micronutrients, sure, but it really is the responsibility of every brand. And so this is not the only vitamin D recall that we've seen. It won't be the last. Just kind of a PSA, you know. I think it's important that we hold manufacturers accountable for testing their products, because otherwise, I mean, we say it all the time, they're kind of using our pets as guinea pigs, and that's not cool.
Those are our recalls. And in the meantime, before our next Zoomies, you can always go on the FDA's website and look at any recalls between now and then. But when in doubt, we'll do another one. I'm sure we'll have more.
And before we leave you today, I have an extra terrible thing to share.
Get your coffees out. You're going to want to eat, drink, and all of this while Jordan tells you.
Yeah, you actually might want to just pause and find like a quiet room and like a space to like dissociate for a while.
Maybe a trash
maybe a trash can. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. This comes back to some of the animal disease we were talking about, right? So something is happening. Something is happening.
Something is happening in this world.
With a species of fly. It's called the New World Screwworm. Despite its name, it is a fly, I promise. But they call it a screwworm because its larvae are like in like a screw shape, and they can actually burrow into open wounds of animals. Yeah, actually, I'll just read this headline. Flesh-eating cattle parasite spreads beyond Texas.
And beyond cattle.
Yeah, so apparently there's been a few cases. There's been 3 additional cases confirmed recently. That brings the total to 5 cases in the United States, including the first case involving a dog in New Mexico. Really, the risk is, you know, you have an open wound, you get a maggot that burrows inside of it, they eat the flesh, they further open the wound, increasing the risk of deadly bacterial infections. Like, it's just not good. Cattle are particularly prone to this, but if you are living in Texas, if you're in the South, if you're in an area where the New World Screwworm is growing in its presence, just be mindful. If you have pets that are frequently outdoors that might have an open wound or might be prone to developing some kind of open wound, like think even like a hot spot or something like that, just be mindful, be watchful and vigilant, and just protect those wounds as best you can.
And even if your dogs or cats are not outside, and this is what I always tell people when talking about like heartworm prevention, flies and parasites and bugs, they don't care. They don't have to be invited in, right?
Sure.
So like even keeping like the door open or the windows open, a fly can come in. And so just wound management.
Yeah.
Get on top of it.
Wound management. That was the words I was looking for.
Manage them wounds.
You better manage those wounds. Yeah. It also just points out, veterinarians play a really important role in surveilling this as it develops and as it remains a risk, especially for beef supply in cattle in the U.S. and in Mexico. But yeah, if you have any concerns, definitely reach out to your veterinarian. They'll be able to steer you in the right direction or help relieve you of any worries that you might have.
So on that note, are you hungry? No, just kidding.
Yeah, no, can't really say I am.
It doesn't bother me. I think I'm just so immune to it by now.
Well, yeah, you've autopsied animals.
Yeah.
And like you have more experience with that kind of like viscera of it. I can look at pictures, but if I start to think about it too hard, no.
When our team was getting informed by our veterinarian on this topic and everyone was super squeamish, I was like, is there something wrong with me? Like, I'm not squeamish.
Yeah, you're perfect. Don't change.
Just not grossed out, but don't you dare.
She's tough. She's got thick skin.
But I'm a sympathy puker. So, I'm not grossed out by screwworm, but don't puke next to me.
Okay. Okay. Heard.
So I guess we all have our weird things.
And before we go, don't forget, it is fireworks season, as they call it. We've got the 4th of July coming up tomorrow. If you're listening to this episode right as it comes out, we also have Labor Day coming up, and it's summer. We like to blow stuff up. If you have a pet that gets squeamish around loud noises, be extra careful around this season. Make sure they're indoors. Make sure that you have a proper way to calm them down, or make sure that they can have a safe space if they're going to get stressed out during loud noises.
Yeah.
How did I forget?
No, and when in doubt, talk to your veterinarian. Talk to them ahead of time so they can order you any medication before these fireworks start happening. And they'll be able to tell you when and where to give them. So when in doubt, talk to your vet.
Yeah. We also will link a previous episode that we did about noise phobia. Might be a little too late for you to operationalize that knowledge for the 4th of July. But, we got you for New Year's, so go check that out as well. I think that wraps it up for our June Zoomies. Be sure to catch us back in July and stay tuned as we continue to bring you important episodes and conversations from the world of pet.
Go Zoomies on that like button. Thank you for tuning in to the Barking Mad podcast. If you'd like to learn more about BSM, please visit us at www.bsmpartners.net.
Don't forget to follow us on your favorite leading podcast platform. And if you found today's episode useful, share it with a friend. We'd like to thank our dedicated podcast team: Jacob Parker, Katie Wolf, Neely Bowden-Lewis, Ada Miette Thomas, and Anna Guilfoyle. A special shout out to David Perez for the original music. See you next time.